are you doing today?
I am doing well. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Oh, well, welcome to Tam Talks. We're excited to have you. You
Yes.
is glowing and looking beautiful today.
Thank you, as are you.
Uh, I see your t-shirt is a bold
Oh,
representation of who you are, woman
listen,
unbreakable.
always it's branding one-on-one.
I got you. I need to do something to start doing my branding too. Put something out there, Tam Talks.
Listen,
I can't.
something.
So, Kim, you are the founder and the brainchild for Woman Unbreakable. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit of what got you invested in this venture, and what is it like? What is your passion behind it?
Right. So I just did a live yesterday, and it was so funny because I said, every time I talk about Woman Unbreakable, I feel like I give a different reason as to why I started. But it just kind of talks to how multifaceted the organization is and what our mission is, right? So for Woman Unbreakable, I have always been someone who is really extremely passionate about women. Women, their struggles, their story. I'm really, really, really been, passionate about those things. And I think Woman Unbreakable was something that was probably always in me, but it was triggered by, um, I was watching a movie, and in the movie, a guy referred to women who were like dancing on poles or something like that. And he referred to them as being broken. And when I heard it, and for it to be in a movie, I was like, wait, I know we talk about, God breaking us. I know we talk about our broken experience, but something about it in that moment was a trigger. And I said to myself, I was like, why in the world do we ascribe to a narrative that God never gave us?
Mm.
Like, why is it that we would ascribe to being broken where nowhere in the scripture does it talk about us being broken? It talks about us being molded, but it never talks about us being broken. And I said to myself, let me do some researching. And I typed it in online, and everything that has to deal with brokenness has to do with women. None of it has to do with men. So I was like, okay, no, 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 no. I am tired of women ascribing to a broken narrative when, one, God didn't give it to us. Two, it is a narrative that is given to us so that that way the lens in which we look through our lives with can be faulty. Everything that we do, if we see ourselves as broken, or even if we saw ourselves as being healed, everything that we do would go back to that lens, right? Because if you hear the word broken, what do you think of? What do you think of? Something that is what? There's something wrong with it.
Pieces, it's not good. It's.
Right. And so for me, if a woman thought at any point in her life that there was something wrong with her, then she's always constantly looking to be fixed. And we don't need to be fixed. God made us whole. So that's what really, really sparked Woman Unbreakable, the name, and my mission, for me to just kind of push this narrative of wholeness. You're worthy and you're valuable because you are living. Being worthy and valuable is not something that you earn as you go through life. It is something that you are born with.
So your idea is that we start with it, and along the way, sometimes we change the narrative of who we are and
Yeah.
our abilities to be great or to be bold or to just be beautiful, and that's inside and out. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We start with it, and then of course, life's journeys and our experiences, and a lot of different things happen along the way that causes us to lose track and lose focus on how worthy and just how valuable God made us. And I think that when you get back to the understanding that your worth and value is not tied to your experience, or what has happened to you, then you understand that I can, I can really command from this life whatever it is that I want, whether it be success, whether it be a healthy relationship, whether it be a healthy mind, whatever it is, you are deserving of. And I think so often women, because of whatever experiences that we may have, if we're looking through it through a brokenness lens, we often put a glass ceiling on what it is that we're able to attain.
This is true. This is very true. One of the things that I've also noticed is that you advocate a lot, not just for women, but for young women, high school, college. And congratulations, first of all, on your scholarship fund. You made it to $2,400. That's amazing.
I'm so excited. You don't even understand. My husband was looking at me like, yo, babe, you are legit crying. I'm like, yes, I am. I am crying. I am so, you don't even understand. Mm-mm. You have no idea how, and I'm already in an emotional state, so you're not going to get me crying on this thing. Oh, God. You don't, let me let you ask your question. Go ahead.
No, you talk. Say it,
I just, you know what, for me, I think because as a young woman, I saw my mother go through so much, right? She went through a lot. And for her, our success meant everything to her, right? So if she had to give her last, if she had to put herself last, and she is actually the model behind Woman Unbreakable. But if she had to do it, she did it for her children. And I remember that when I was accepted to college and I was getting ready to go, and you get the scholarships and different things like that, but we just didn't have enough, and because of that, my college experience was a bit delayed, because my mom initially was like, we're not going to take out these loans or whatever the case is. So my college experience was delayed, and that was heartbreaking to me. And I know so many young women who are in similar situations and they just give up. And I don't want them to give up, because there is support and there's help out there. So I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate for young women. And they're just their success. And I think that because one of the models for Woman Unbreakable is my mom, I take on the mission to be invested in their success.
I love that, because I've noticed like a lot of times when you would do stuff or you would do things pertaining to either prom or to college funds or to high school, and to advocate for them success and to let them know they're not in this alone. And I love that, because especially in our community, it's necessary to know that there's a group of women that are you, that look like you, that understand where you're coming from and will support you through the process.
Yeah.
So I am in love with that, because sometimes you'd be surprised to know as the simple gesture of just saying, hey, you want to talk? Or I
Yeah.
care, or I understand, could be the difference between someone going forward or falling back. So
Yes.
love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just think that, and even for Women Unbreakable, I think that when we develop women who understand their worth and their value, right? If I develop women who understand their worth and their value, they can reach back and teach our young women to also understand their worth and their value. I always say that, it breaks my heart, some of the things that some of our young women accept or hold as being normal, especially as it relates to relationships and how they should be treated. And oftentimes that goes back to this concept of mattering and this concept of value that they don't really understand. They believe that this is the best that they can get.
Well, that is true. I've seen it time and time again. Along your journey of not just Woman Unbreakable, but finding yourself and finding your voice, what
Mhm.
do you think is like one of the toughest lessons that you've had to learn? And how did you grow from it? Because we learn things, but sometimes we don't grow. So, what is the toughest lesson you've learned and,
Mhm.
has molded you and has affected your outcome today?
Um, I think it would go back to that concept of um, owning your voice and knowing that you matter. You know, I think that was one of the biggest lessons, that you have something to add to society. You have something to add to this world, and you're not just simply existing. Um, Understanding that because I am here and I'm living, that my purpose is greater than what I see. And I'm responsible for a gift that God has given me. So I think that is all encompassed in the lesson of mattering, and understanding that because I am here, right? I was put here for a reason, for a purpose. I have a purpose, and the purpose was given to me as a gift to be given out.
Mm. I love that. I love that you're so passionate about people and their purpose and just, being able to accomplish the things that you were set out to do and not letting anything hold you back.
Right.
What
Absolutely.
what is your projection or where do you see Women Unbreakable going? And what are the arenas that you're hoping to fill and the gaps in society that you're hoping to also mend? Because that's also important to bring to fruition the vision that you have for Women Unbreakable.
Right. I always start with like my power statement, right? And in my power statement or my mission for myself is I am a catalyst for change. I create open, connected, and empowered spaces where women transform their mindset and be empowered to step into their greatness, right? So, in that mission statement for myself and for just Woman Unbreakable in general, I am hoping to be in spaces where I can create or become a trigger for women to step into their power. So, oftentimes, right? And in saying that, oftentimes what happens is we are all in a stage, right? We are all in a stage in our lives. Oftentimes we find ourselves cycling through the same change cycle. There are women who they go to empowerment events and they leave there and they feel empowered, but they go back into the same cycle, the same cycle, the
Very
same cycle,
true. Mhm.
right? Um, and they get every self-help book, they go to all the empowerment brunches, they're saying all the affirmations, right? But my prayer constantly is, Lord, let me be the trigger, right? Let me be the trigger that gets them out of that cycle.
So I know you love going to, I've seen you go to a few events about, empowering women. What would you say is one of the most, like one of the best events that you've been to that you think kind of embodies who you are as a woman?
An event.
Yeah,
Um,
because events can do that. Because I know there are people that
yeah.
do it, and there's events that kind of really shifts how you think. Like for me, I can remember one of mine as you process that one is not She Media, Women in Media. They had okay, I said that wrong. It's not Women in Media either. Sisters in Media. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
All that out. So I remember for me, one was Sisters in Media. They had an event at in the city. And
Mm-hmm.
so I knew what I wanted to do, but I kept putting what I wanted to do on the back burner. I was like, there's no room for what I want to do. I found every reason to not do what I wanted to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even going to go to that meeting, but I was like, you know what? My cousin was here. I had company. So I was like, you know what? So we could just go.
Right.
But that was a pivot for me in even going forward to even applying for my TED license, for me even getting back
Right.
to media, doing interviews. It was an event that did it for me. It was an event that
Right.
shifted my thought process to believing that I can. So I ask that questions because a lot of times we allow one person to influence our lives. When I think
Hmm.
sometimes it's a group or a community of people that do, apart
Right.
from God, I think it's necessary to have not one person, because you look up to one person is human. But having a
Yeah,
few people in your
absolutely.
community to push you, for you to learn from, I think is necessary. So if you had
Right.
to choose like an event that you've attended that you think has, embodied most of what you are, has caused you to pivot to bring about the change that you want to see, what event would that be?
Um, what I would say is that, so what I would say is, for me, Woman Unbreakable was something that I started doing before actually attending an event of any sort, right?
Mm,
Um, but I think that I was doing Woman Unbreakable at maybe 50%, right? I wasn't all in. I
mhm,
wasn't all in it. And I think that what shifted for me was not necessarily an event, but I took a leadership course, right? Called Momentum Education. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but it is a leadership course. There is Momentum, there's the advanced, and then there's the leadership course. So it's three different sections. But when I stepped foot into Momentum, I would always remember the coach, they called it. Her name is Sylvia. One of the things that she allowed me to do was kind of get out of my own way.
mm.
And I think in that course, the tools, the distinctions, everything that they did in that particular course allowed me to see where it was that I wasn't playing at 100%. And I think that after that course is where I shifted.
Gotcha. I think that's important. We all need that moment to pivot and to really be the driving force to what we want in life. A lot of times we're stagnant or we're fearful of the other side because we can't see it. And
Mhm.
in the Caribbean culture, I have the saying, you think that the grass is greener on the other side.
Right, absolutely.
But sometimes you have to peak defense to actually know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so the fear, I have learned over the years to start embracing my fear rather than allow it to cripple me.
Hmm.
Because I was definitely in the category of fear, crippling effect. I'm not doing it. I am all bound. I'm not moving forward. This is too fearful. And now I'm in this space
Hmm.
of I'm embracing the things that I fear. I'm embracing it that the reason I fear it is because I want it so much and I should go after it even more than anything else.
Hmm.
So I like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
I also like that you've taken the time to educate yourself, to take courses. I think that that's even so important because a lot of times we jump into something without, I mean, we can't learn everything beforehand, but we jump into things without getting some insight of what we're doing, so that now we're just swimming in this big ocean and
Right.
have no direction.
Right, absolutely. And I think that, to your point, I think that because some of us, we have so many big goals, right? We have so many big dreams. We don't really understand, going back to the Woman Unbreakable um, mission, we don't understand that our experiences and what we've been through, if we haven't fully unpacked that in the right way, we can get in our way, right? We often see that, we often think that, you know what, oh, I didn't do this because my friends didn't support me. I never had the support. I never this,
Yeah.
that this was my life, yada, 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 right? Like, we all have a story, and our story is what allows us to develop certain thoughts, beliefs, and actions that hinder us from fully stepping into who we are meant to be. So, until you take time, like you're saying, to actually be in the seat of a student, to learn not only yourself, but learn the skills that you need to in order to move forward, you're constantly going back to what I said before, going to be cycling through the same chain cycle. You're always going to be going circle, like you would never get to a point where you're actually making a substantial and an adequate change in your life to actually see a difference.
This is true. I'm a firm believer in the best teachers and leaders are the best and the most hungriest of students.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're always eager to learn something new. You're always eager to put yourself in the position of the students that you're teaching, the people that are following you, that you understand where they're coming from, and you also have the ability to lead because you already stand in a front at the front
Absolutely.
row. So I agree.
Absolutely.
You see my pencil? I agree with that. 100 per.
100%.
If you
100%.
had, if there was a celebrity that
Mm-hmm.
aligned with you, or that you would want to say, I stand with Kim for Woman Unbreakable, because you could be the ambassador for me because you stand by what I believe, who would that be?
Michelle Obama.
Oh, I'm gonna say why just because I already know the why. I'm pretty sure anybody watching this knows the why.
Everybody knows why. Oh my gosh. Did you see her becoming documentary? Did you watch it? Girl, I
I want
think
to
I
become her.
cried. I cried from the time the music started. It's like, the whatever it comes up on the screen, and I'm crying. My husband's looking at me like, nothing happened yet. What's It's like
It's
nothing
the
happened
fact
yet.
that they have a movie of this caliber, wisdom and power in it, honey. We
Listen,
see nothing. We just feel what's going on.
I just need to hear the intro music. That's
What's this movie
all.
about? Michelle Obama.
Oh my God. Crazy. Like, I don't even, but anyway, so Michelle Obama, yes. If she, and I decree and declare that she will hear about this TAM talk and she will hear us talking about her in Jesus' name. Um,
Hallelujah.
no, but I think that, like, she is someone who everyone loves, right? Like, I know that she has people who dislike it, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to a person who touches every woman that identifies differently, she touches everyone.
That is true.
Right? So she touches the women who we would categorize as the intellects. She touches the women who we would categorize as the video vixens. She touches the women who categorizes themselves as the working woman. Like, she touches a plethora of women who identify differently. They identify with different groups, and she just touches them. Everyone admires her. And I think for me, the Woman Unbreakable brand, I never want this brand to become something that people associate with, quote unquote, only the elite of women, right? The intellects, or the women who went to college, or the women who carry themselves proper, right? We know that, right?
Yeah.
I want Woman Unbreakable to be a representation of people who identify with the Cardi B's, the people who identify with the Michelle Obamas, the people who identify with the Beyoncés, whatever it is, or whomever it is that you identify with. I want you to know that Woman Unbreakable is a brand for you.
That's beautiful. I think a lot of times, I see that women strive to create brands that then lead to this elite status indeed,
Yeah.
where only a certain type of people could either go or be around, and then forgetting that in order for us to create, I think a lot of times people indirectly fight for inclusion and then create exclusions.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it happen time and
Perfectly
time
said.
again, indeed, where I'm
Mm-hmm.
fighting for inclusion. I'm starting this because I wanna inclusivity. I want people to come together, and then once they get to a certain point in life, they become this exclusive club that now I can't be a part of. So how are we supporting women when you are
Right.
exclusive to your set of people?
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that you have said that it is not just about us getting to this elite status of people or just getting a certain caliber of people, but we want to have a diverse palette of people. We want
Mm-hmm.
different colors, we want different cultures, we want different socioeconomic statuses. We want everybody, and that is
Right.
powerful.
Yeah, you have to, you know, so I always would say that Woman Unbreakable is a mission for every woman,
Mhm.
right? To be unbreakable. It is a movement, right? It's a movement behind the thought. So it is a movement for every woman. But Woman Unbreakable, the organization, me, I may not be drawn to every woman may not be drawn to me, right? But my hope is to develop a platform that allows, as you're saying, this inclusivity and this diverse group of women who is on the same mission to empower, to motivate, to heal, right? Bring them in on this platform and say, hey, you may not be drawn to me because you may not like my voice, you something about me may be a trigger, but I have this person right here that I can navigate and direct you to so that you can get the resources and the tools that you need to go for it.
And the thing is, to your point, I feel that every woman should be on board for positivity, for uplifting other women. I think that it shouldn't be a set of people that are, because then the rest, I would consider that bullying. Because if you're not on a mission to uplift, educate, inspire, regardless of what area of work you're in, then what mission are you on exactly?
Right.
Um,
Right.
so I think it
Absolutely.
should be, every woman should be, because women have been through so much over the years. Always being either the weaker person or the weaker sex, being cast out for so many reasons. And I think it's important that we're in an age where it's necessary to empower each other. It's necessary to uplift each other. It's necessary to be less competitive with each other, because over the years we've seen all these movies that teaches us to be competitive, teach us
Mhm.
that only
Mhm.
one woman can be a CEO, only one can be a boss.
Mhm.
And now we're in an age where that narrative is shifting dramatically. And
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm saying, like, what a time it is to be a woman
Yeah,
and a
it's
black woman at
definitely
that too.
shifting.
It is
It's definitely
amazing.
shifting.
Yes, and I'm loving it. I love like the 20s and the 30s. And I remember I told my sister, I said, maybe I should have been born in that era. And she goes, with your personality? Making no. I was like, what you mean?
Oh gosh.
It is a good time to be alive. It's a good time to see women helping women, supporting women,
Right.
standing by
Mhm.
women. It's a great time to be a woman unbreakable.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Unbreakable. You don't you don't become unbreakable. You are born unbreakable. That's just how that is.
so do you plan in the future to like have I don't know which one you'll say, gala or galas, because everybody says that word differently, to do more things like that to bring people in to, I know that do community drives, go out there a little bit more so that more women could hear about it, create because I think it was last year. I think for prom, you got dresses together for the girls and things of that nature. What are your plans pertaining to like events and things like that for Women Unbreakable?
Right. So as you stated, last year was the first year we did the prom giveaway, and we had like amazing sponsors who like made dresses from scratch for our prom girl. Um, and this year we we're going to do it bigger, and I got more sponsors on board, but because of the pandemic, we weren't we're not able to do it for the prom girls that we chose. So that's why I was really, really pushing to kind of build a scholarship fund. So I'm happy because then we're able to give them a scholarship now because they're not able to go to prom. So they're going to be very happy about that. So in the future, for me, Woman Unbreakable, I do plan on launching an award ceremony where we will identify women in our community, women of influence who are noted to be change agents in our community that I would consider to be behind the mission of Woman Unbreakable. So I plan to launch that. I don't know when we're going to be able to gather like that again, but eventually. Of course, we have the brunch. That last year was the first time we did the brunch. And just to note, Woman Unbreakable was not even 2 years old, so we're still fairly new. So last year was the first time we did the brunch, which was our first year and being in inception. So the brunch will continue. It will be an annual brunch. And then, of course, we have the scholarship fund that will be ongoing. We have the prom giveaway that will be ongoing. And then, of course, because I am a licensed social worker, I also am a therapist. So through the Woman Unbreakable brand, I do plan on launching several mental health initiatives, one in being the mentorship program that I plan on launching, as well as one-on-one or group therapy sessions with me.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm speechless. What a beautiful roster of things. And I'm with you, and I'm here to support you. Whatever you need, whatever I can do, I am here to support you. One of the things I will say that I love about you is a lot of times people say, but they don't do. And it's like you ever have some people just, I'm gonna pray for you, but you know they ain't gonna pray for you.
Yeah, they not.
Probably
No.
forgot about you. But what I've learned for the space of time I've met you and I've gotten to know you is like when I was planning the event, for those of you that don't know, Kim DM'd me and she at the time for what she wanted, I didn't have availability. And most people, when I said that, is like, okay, next time you have something, let me know. She immediately kicked into, what do you need help with? Whatever it is, I'm there for you. I'm here to support you. And I don't think she knows how much that blew me away, because it was like, in 2 seconds, she just transitioned from one thing to becoming a support for another woman. And in her mind, it's kind of like, we're all women, we're all striving for the same things. So I'm going to stand with you. And I cried when I was reading your message, because that really touched my heart, because it's not often you see it. And I love that you say and do and is the same person. What you say and what you do is the same person. There is no discrepancy, there's no deviation. And for that, I will blindly support you. And that sounds crazy, but I would. And I think it's important for women to see what genuine looks like, what real looks like, because so often we're filled with, fake things aren't true, fake news. So it's important for us to see what genuine, real women, real relationships, real advocates, real supporters look like. And so that we can support genuine, because when we get burned by the fake, we get upset, but then we choose not to support what's real.
Right.
Because it's not as glamorous as they think it should be. So, Kim, keep being who you are. I love it. I love you. I love Woman Unbreakable. And again, like I said, whatever I can do to support you, you have my number. Call me.
And you have mine. You have mine. I just think that, to your point, and I'm very humbled by what you're saying. I think for me, it is important for women, and this is something that I teach, and this is a part of, and maybe this is just how God has made me. I am a true believer in supporting every woman, whether or not you are a follower, a friend, or a foe. You don't have to like me, but you are deserving of support and love, right? You are deserving of that because you are living. And I think my mindset has always been that if you are in need of support, I will support you. Even if you were someone who, and this is not a thought that people think of, but even if you were someone who dragged my name through the mud, if you ever were in need of someone to help pick you up, I will still do that, because you're still deserving. You are a human being that is deserving of support and love. And for me, I always, 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 before I am the CEO of Woman Unbreakable, before I am Kim Roberts, I am a vessel of God.
Amen.
That's it. So I'm here. You know where you could find me. And what did I say in that message? I said, listen, whatever you need me to do, you want me to sweep, you need me to pick up papers.
That you really did say that.
Like, what do you think this is?
I was like, you gave me roles that I didn't even know existed. I was like, what?
Like, what do you want?
And you came to our rehearsals, and regardless of, and it was beautiful because you were the CEO of a company telling this other woman that you are now meeting, I'm here to support you. And not just support you because I want to be in the front, but whatever you need in the back that nobody wants to do, I'll do it. And that is amazing to me. You know? So listen, guys, follow her, Woman Unbreakable, on Instagram. Are you on Facebook too?
Yes, Woman Unbreakable with an A on Facebook and Instagram.
You see, like, follow her. She posts inspiring things consistently. You feel good when you go to, some people's page you go to, and when you're done, you feel stressed out. When you go to Woman Unbreakable, you feel good. You feel full. You feel, like you did something good for yourself. So if you want to go to somewhere that advocates for women, not just women, but young girls, that stands with them, supports the community, again, and I use this word because it's true, genuine. I think that we take for granted too often genuine people. We take for granted too often real people. And so for me, that is so important. Like, that's what I look for in people. Like, I always say, I don't get excited because I see a celebrity or a famous person. It has never been my personality. I get excited when I see genuine people. I see real people because they're the ones that count. Have fun on stage. Who you are on stage, that's who, you can act. But it's when you get off that stage, is when you're in the back, that's the person I want to know. And absolutely. I fell for you because of how genuine you are. How, I don't know. Tell your husband I said he's a lucky man. He's a lucky man. He did good.
I adore you. I definitely adore you.
Kim, it was a pleasure chatting with you today. It is always a pleasure getting to know you. Before we even close out completely, is there anything you would like to say to the women out there, and even to the men, because some of them need encouraging and some loving too, to encourage them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I will just kind of end with how we started. You are born with a purpose, for a purpose, on purpose. Your life matters. No matter where you find yourself on this journey, know that you matter, your life matters, and you have something to add to this world. So if you find yourself during this time wondering what's next, what does God have in store for me, just know that because you are existing, there is greater in store for you. You just need to step into it.
Amen. I found myself saying a lot of amens through this. So, Pastor, if you're watching this, you can see, doing a good job.
I am saved. If you questioned if I was saved, I am saved.
I've never questioned that.
You've always That's what I'm saying.
You've been so classy. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind. Listen, to your pastor, she's holy. You're listening. Oh gosh, you made me laugh. Oh, but thank you, Kim. I appreciate you so much. I
Thank
hope
you
that
so
you
much.
join us again. And as you know, as you grow, as you need more promotional stuff, anything you need, just let us know and well, let me know. And I'm here for you.
I will, sis. Thank you again so much.
And you can take this video to court if you know, like she told me she would help me. So I have
Excuse me,
proof.
Judge. She didn't post my story when I asked. She said it would be $500. I was like, you said. Now that you with Michelle Obama, you talking about you need $500 to post my story, but you.
Oh gosh, but thank you on the real though. I appreciate you made my night. You have me laughing. Oh gosh, my cheek hurts.